The reason why I stopped allowing kids to play together. I just couldn't have lice keep coming in and out of the house.
So is lice a piece of what's been happening?
Certainly is for me.
And then another topic I think I heard you both discuss is communication between the two of you. For you, Charlie, I think you wanted ideas around communication that got you directness and openness and support. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
And Jordan, I think I heard you say you were looking for ideas around communication that that got you peace, that you were looking for calm when it came to communication. Is that right?
Yeah, certainly. Just want us to have a nice, peaceful neighborly relationship.
Would communication be something to list as a piece of what's been happening?
Yeah, I mean, I think that is once we resolve the other stuff, we won't be at each other. But yeah, I mean, sure, might as well put it up there.
Does this list capture the things that you've been having conflict about? And if you were to find resolution to all these topics, would this dispute be resolved?
I think so. It looks like majority of the issues.
Yeah, I believe so.
So at this point, we're going to move into the brainstorm phase, which is step 4 in the process. And while the earlier part of the mediation may have been focused on the past, now that you've used the past to have a discussion and define a list of topics, the rest of the mediation will be focused on the future. We'll discuss one topic at a time and start by asking you to suggest any possible solutions you can think of. During brainstorming, all ideas will be written down. And then later you'll pick ones that you can agree to or make any needed adjustments. Once you've decided on the ideas that you want, we'll work out the details about what will be needed to make the ideas work. Throughout the brainstorm process, you can be as creative as you'd like. Any questions about the brainstorming process? Is there a topic that you'd like to start with?
I mean, I'm fine doing them as they're written there, just to make it easy.
So starting
But
with
if
yard.
Charlie, yeah, but if Charlie has a different idea.
Charlie, is it okay with you to start with yard?
That's fine.
And then we'll work our way through the rest of the list. So what ideas do you have around the yard?
Well, were you gonna say something?
Yeah, I mean, I could try and find someone that can come out and pick up the dishwasher out of the yard, get rid of some of those big items that I can't move on my own. And I don't know if someone can pick it up for free or what, but I can look into that.
So Charlie finds someone to move large items out of the yard. I'm just gonna switch to a different marker since this one's not working.
And I have someone doing the you know, the grass, just don't have them come as often. I guess, again, it just wasn't, you know, it wasn't been at the top of my list of things. And as a single parent, you know, it's a lot of money to bring someone into maintenance to yard and everything, but,
I don't think it's unreasonable to think that the yard, that it could get mowed, you know, twice a month. I think that would keep it looking decent.
I can try it. Yeah, that's something I can try.
So Charlie has yard mowed twice a month?
Mm-hmm.
These markers. That's great. I'm so sorry, 1 minute.
You know, I know I probably haven't been as understanding, you know, you mentioned kind of your disability and asking for help and stuff, so, you know, if there's some way, I certainly can help more than I have been. So if there's some way that I can assist without making it my responsibility, I certainly want to be open to that. So I don't know if that's kind of like, you know, Charlie asks for help when it's needed, or if we, you know, set up maybe like some neighbors coming out to you know, assist in some of this, at least initially, to get it kind of up to a good standard, and then just needs to be maintained.
So Charlie asks Jordan for help when needed.
I'm cool with that.
And what was the rest of the suggestion?
I said something
Something about the neighbors?
Maybe asking neighbors to help out to get it, at least initially, kind of get the trash cleaned up, and I mean, I also would appreciate if no more trash, if that was not a thing that happened, if we could not have trash on the border.
So who would be asking neighbors for help?
You know, I could do that. I could, since I guess you know, and part of the reason why this rift has been growing between Charlie and the rest of the neighborhood, I certainly, you know, so.
Is it okay if going forward I use J for Jordan and C for Charlie?
Yeah.
So I have Jordan asks neighbors for help. And then there was something that was just said about no more trash, keeping the trash.
Yeah, if that wasn't, if trash was not, in the future, we didn't, you know, Charlie did not put trash bordering, you know, on the fence border. You know, all kinds of things can make nests and stuff up in that too.
So Charlie does not put trash near fence border. What other ideas around the yard? Earlier, Charlie, you said you were looking for privacy and patience when it came to the yard. What ideas do either of you have that would get privacy and patience for Charlie?
Well, just around the privacy, it's just, I mean, I think when we talked about, you know, talking to me about concerns that Jordan has about what's going on in my yard and how it's affecting his yard. Just, you know, I mean, privacy in the sense that he's not sharing that with everyone and, you know, calling the police on me about those things. But if it's affecting his yard and you know, talking to me about it first. And then being patient, you know, with, you know, giving me time to get these things handled and cleaned up, because I want to get it cleaned up.
I just wanna make sure I captured that. So I have Jordan doesn't share issues with neighbors. Jordan goes first to Charlie with concerns, and Jordan is patient and gives time.
Yeah, and he's not calling the police on me and about this stuff, calling the city and reporting me and all that stuff.
So Jordan does not call police.
Call them the county.
I don't know who you call for that. I think they all look like police when they show up.
Earlier, Jordan, you mentioned wanting safety for the children when it came to the yard. What ideas do either of you have that would get safety for the kids?
That's on them, because I don't think it.
I mean, I just want the yard to look, you know, to be decent, be clear, so that a bunch of stuff ain't living up in there. That, I mean, that looks fine once we get the crap out of the trash off the fence and the yard mowed in a, you know, timely kind of fashion. I think I'm all right.
I don't think it's unsafe, so I mean, I think it can be cleaned up, I'd like it to be cleaned up, but no one's safety is at risk over my yard.
Charlie, you ain't barely out there. That,
I don't go out
it
there.
is a safety, it is a safety issue. I'm not making it up. But I think that if we do these things, I think it'd be all right. I don't really know that I got any more for that.
What else? What other ideas?
That's it for me.
What other ideas to get you the order and cleanliness that you were looking for?
I mean, having the yard mowed twice a month and not having trash on the thing, I don't, yeah. I don't know what else I mean, if you wanna plant some flowers, I might like that, but.
I mean, I'm all for beautifying, but I can't really get out there and do all of those things, you know, maybe something we can have the children help with.
So Charlie has children help plant flowers? Earlier, Jordan, you mentioned that you care a lot about the neighborhood, and that you feel proud of your home and yard. What other ideas do you have to get you the sense of beauty that you're looking for in your neighborhood?
Well, I mean, I don't wanna give, you know, I know that Charlie's already dealing with a lot, I don't wanna put a crazy amount on their plate. I really just wanted these things to be taken care of so that it wasn't, you know, an issue. But this, yeah, I mean, I'm okay with that list, I got everything I would need is on there, at least as far as the yard goes.
Charlie, any other ideas about the yard?
Whatever Jordan said, I don't have a problem with the yard. I mean, like I said, I wouldn't mind beautifying, you know, just making it look better, and as long as I can get some help, like, I didn't think about having the children help out with planting things, and, or even, you know, I just hadn't got around to finding someone that can come and move the items, but, so this is getting me thinking about, actually making those things happen, so, I think those things will help both of us. Mhm.
So at this point, I'm just gonna go through and read all the suggestions so far, and then I'm gonna ask if there's any that you can agree to.
Okay.
So first we have Charlie finds someone to move large items out of the yard. Charlie has yard mowed twice a month. Charlie asks Jordan for help when needed. Jordan asks neighbors for help. Charlie does not put trash near the fence border. Jordan does not share issues with neighbors. Jordan goes first to Charlie with concerns.
Mhm.
Jordan is patient and gives time for cleanup. Jordan does not call police. Charlie has children help to plant flowers.
Mhm.
So what are we doing? Cause I got issues. I think there are two of them up there that may be a little something.
So what of this list can you agree to right off the bat?
Well, I can agree to all of them, but I'm a little, it's something raises in my mind when I think, cause sometimes, you gotta talk to the other neighbors to see what they're experiencing too, so I don't necessarily wanna agree that I can't share any issues, but I certainly could go to Charlie first before I start talking to any neighbors if any issues arise. And it wasn't the police I was calling, it was the county to just get the ground. I wasn't trying to get Charlie arrested, I just was trying to get the yard cleaned up.
Okay, so first we're gonna check about any that you can agree with, and then we'll go back to the ones that need some tweaking. So I think I heard you say that you could agree with Jordan goes first to Charlie with concerns?
Yeah, I could agree to that.
Okay, and Charlie, is that something that you
Yeah, I
could
like
agree
that.
to?
Mhm.
But the one about going to the neighbors, you had some questions and concerns about?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What other ideas can you both agree to?
I agree with everything.
And Jordan, you said you agreed with everything except for the issues with the neighbors, and there was something about it wasn't the police.
Yeah, I gotta know what patient and given time, that needs a little bit more clarity for me before I could agree to that.
Okay. So,
Yeah, go ahead.
so I've made a note to go back and look at the patients and the police and sharing issues with the neighbors.
Uh-huh.
And the other ones you can agree to?
Yeah. The other ones I can agree to.
Okay, so when you said that you weren't sure about the not sharing issues with neighbors,
I
can you
mean,
break that down?
yeah, I can go to Charlie first, certainly, but then if that's not fruitful, then maybe it helps for me to see what's going on, how the other neighbors feel about things. I don't wanna feel like I'm, gossiping or just talking crap on Charlie, but I don't necessarily, agree that I won't ever talk with what's happening in the neighborhood with the other neighbors, so that doesn't feel quite right in that way. Maybe,
So it sounds like you feel communication with your neighbors is important.
yeah,
Looking for a place to share and have a space to debrief about the neighborhood is something that's important.
mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, but like I said, if it's an issue concerning Charlie, certainly, I will come to you first, without talking necessarily with the neighbors about it, unless they have said something to me. But I don't know that blanketly saying I don't share any issues with the neighbors is something I can
Well, I meant specifically about, you know, concerns, things concerning me and my yard and my house and my children. The point was, is that one might maybe be able to be combined, where,
So where I go to first to,
yeah, this is it's the same as the one right beneath it. It goes first to Charlie with concerns.
So Jordan goes first to Charlie with concerns about Charlie.
Right, that's, that's what
Is
I
that
mean.
clarifying?
Mhm.
Okay. And then I wasn't sure if this is capturing what you meant. I tweaked this one to say Jordan doesn't share issues with neighbors about Charlie.
Yeah, but it sounds like he's disagreeing with that. He's saying he's gonna talk to people anyway.
So does this?
no, but I'm saying I at least go to you first, and if we can't resolve it, then I'm gonna see if maybe I'm the only person having the issue and talk to some of the other.
Why do you just have to talk to other people about everything? I mean, gosh, like.
Because we're not the only two neighbors, there are other folks there, and when we do affect, I'm not gonna talk to them if we have a disagreement if that's personal or something, but if it's about some yard or whatever, and it might also be like would we consider me asking folks for help? Is that me sharing stuff with the neighbors? It just seems kind of vague, you know, when, you know, I'm gonna try to do better about making sure that anything that I say, you know, doesn't harm you in the ways in which it seems like maybe I've contributed around the lice issue and all this and some of the other stuff. Maybe I have ranted because I was pretty upset, especially after you know, my daughter broke her ankle. You know, maybe I was ranting and saying some things that were very, you know, unkind. But you know, sometimes it is helpful to touch base with the neighbors about kind of what we're experiencing in the neighborhood, and if that includes you, I don't wanna tie my hands and make an agreement and then make myself a liar about it.
So I think I heard you say, Jordan, as an idea, that Jordan doesn't say hurtful, unkind things about Charlie to neighbors.
I can agree to that.
Okay. Charlie?
Yeah. I guess they know. Just for a second. And a little bit.
What you gotta do, Charlie?
And then the one, okay, so does this capture so Jordan goes first to Charlie with concerns about Charlie, and then Jordan doesn't say hurtful, unkind things about Charlie to neighbors.
Yeah, that's what I
Okay.
mean by, like, I'm not saying you can't talk to the neighbors or even talk about your concerns about things, but, you know, saying things that are like, yeah, hurtful to me or about my family. Cause I'm saying that I'm here, I wanna work with you, I wanna, you know, be a good neighbor but, you know, I may not do things as, you know, I mean, I might not jump on everything you say needs to be done right away, like, I just need you to be patient about that.
So the one about Jordan is patient and gives time for cleanup. Jordan, I heard you say that you were uncertain about the word patient.
Well, patient around how, because it's like, how much time are we given? That's just, you know, I just want to put some boundaries around that, so I'm not just expecting to be sitting there being patient while all this stuff is piling up again.
Okay, so is there a timeline that would get you what kind of timeline would get you the cleanliness that you're looking for and also the patience that Charlie is looking for?
Well, I don't know, I'm trying to think, so if we have like, the yard is being moved twice a month, let's say it's missing, the yard starts piling up. What's a reasonable amount of time that I should be patient before I say anything?
To whom?
To you about the yard getting out of control again.
I don't know how we're gonna come to agreement about that, cause I feel like that's where you just like, you know, trying to exert your, you know, power over meaning controlling what's happening in my yard. If I've agreed to do it twice a month. We've talked about, you know, me being conscious of how it's affecting your yard. And I think that's it. That's all the agreement I can make with you about that. I mean, you can talk to me anytime. You can talk to me anytime. There's no limit on, you know, you talking to me.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm doing that, but it just, I don't know, I just don't want to be like, I'm giving blanket patience for whatever amount of time it takes for things to happen.
So Charlie?
I feel like I tried that.
Sounds like you were feeling unsure about specifics when it comes to cleaning up the yard, feeling controlled by.
I mean, it sounds like Jordan's saying if he wants to know how, like he's putting me on a timeline for meeting his needs about my yard, or he's gonna call the county on me again. That's what I hear him saying.
So feeling threatened.
Yeah. And it's my yard. I mean, but if it's not affecting his yard, I don't think that, you know, I have to be sitting here making these types of agreements about how I'm gonna upkeep my own yard.
But it is affecting my, I know you don't think it is, but it is affecting my yard. So I just don't want to, you know, agree that I'm gonna not do anything when it is. How about? No, I don't like that.
I mean, I don't feel like this. I mean, we need to specify all of those things. I've said that I'm gonna have the yard mowed twice a month. You've said that you'll help out, and that I can ask you, and if I'm having a problem, that I can ask you for help. And you've also offered to even ask neighbors to assist me when needed. So I feel like we've already come to a decision about how we're gonna manage that.
So Charlie, feeling satisfied with the agreement of finding someone to move the items and agree to mow the lawn twice a
You
month.
know, it feels like we've made some decisions about how to work together and manage, you know, some of my needs and some of the neighborhood's needs for, you know, the upkeep of my property.
So the next one, Jordan does not call police. Jordan, I heard you say earlier that there was some clarity needed around.
Yeah, I called the
police.
county, like the, you know, 311 kind of folks.
So, or the county?
I mean, I can't take away that's the one thing that I can do that it seems to be effective if it does get out of control. Because I'm looking at these two and it's just like, certainly I have been patient and then I did lose my patience. I've you know, felt like I gave time and tried to be understanding, but it's just how much are you supposed to give? And then yeah, I've called it, you know, a few times at this point to help rectify, to help get it moving along.
So it sounds like being able to call the police or the county as a last resort is something that is important to you. Is that correct?
Yeah. How about I won't call the county without talking to Charlie and figuring out a timeline first or something like that. And I'd be okay with that, but I don't know about the patience it gives time. I think I can agree to not call him without trying to work it out with Charlie first.
So Jordan does not call police or county without talking to Charlie and figuring out timeline first. Does that
Right.
capture what you were saying?
Right.
Is that something that you would agree to, Charlie? Okay.
I mean, believe me, hopefully this all works out and we don't, and that none of that is even necessary. I just want us to, you know, have a nice kind of, something that happens, some kind of movement.
So at this point, we're gonna go back through and just get some additional details to make sure that these ideas will work. So for the first one, Charlie finds someone to move large items out of the yard. Are there certain times or dates or people that need to be specified to make sure that this works?
No, I'm just gonna have to look for someone.
By when would that happen?
Someone I'll do that next week or something.
So in the next week, you're gonna find somebody, and next week it's gonna be gone.
Well, I can't know that unless once I found someone. I can't know when they'll be. I don't know how the internet works. I've never used a mover. I don't even know like who to contact really. But,
So Charlie finds someone by today's Wednesday, so by
no,
next
every 2
Wednesday.
weeks. I don't want to say every week because I don't know.
Okay, how about this? If you can you agree to look for somebody this week? If you don't find anything that feels reasonable, then you come to me and we could.
No, I said 2 weeks. I said 2 weeks. I do 2 weeks. I'll find someone in the next 2 weeks to take care of the large items in my yard.
So today's the 14th, so 2 weeks would be the 28th, is that right? Let me check my calendar.
Yes, that's right, because
The 28th.
Yes.
So Charlie finds someone by November 28th.
To move the items, yes.
Jordan, is that reasonable for you?
Yeah, I can. 2 more weeks.
By November 28th. Are there other details to add for this one to make sure that it will work? So the next item, Charlie has yard mowed twice a month.
I don't have anything to add to it. It's
No.
pretty to the point. We can have it twice a month.
I mean, if it's done, then I'm fine with it.
Charlie asks Jordan for help when needed. Anything specific to add there?
No, just communication. So just have to reach out to each other, neighbors right there.
What kind of communication works best for you, Charlie?
We see each other all the time. I mean, I can knock on the door, I can call. I mean, we have all kinds of means of communicating with each other.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
So knocking on the door or calling?
Yeah, that's.
Okay. Jordan asks neighbors for help.
So.
When I'm saying I need help. You know,
Okay.
So.
When Charlie needs help.
Well, I
When
want to
Charlie
be more
requests?
specific. Yeah, when I request it.
Okay, when Charlie
Okay.
requests.
I was gonna say, because I could reach out while you're looking for somebody to help move the large items, I could see if any of the neighbors.
If I have a problem, I'll let you know.
Okay, that's fine with me then. And Charlie requests, all right.
So Charlie asks Jordan for help. Jordan asks neighbors for help when Charlie requests it. I think I heard Jordan offer to ask neighbors to help with the large items. Is that something?
I'm gonna do it like 28th, and if I have a problem, I'll ask for some help, and then we can go from there.
Okay. Charlie does not put trash near fence border.
I'll agree to that.
Oh.
Anything to add? Jordan goes first to Charlie with concerns about Charlie.
Yes. I can do that. Anything that comes up, I
Any
can.
specifics?
And same kind of way, I can go knock on Charlie's door, call. We are right there.
Does that work for you, Charlie, to knock or call?
And of course, that goes that way too. If you have anything that you need, any concerns or issues about what's going on over with me on my side, please feel free to reach out.
So Charlie reaches out to Jordan with any concerns. Charlie, is that something that you would agree to? Okay. Jordan does not call police or county without talking to Charlie and figuring out timeline first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, yeah, and that goes with concerns about Charlie, so yes, so certainly talk it out, and if it's something that needs to be done, we'll figure if it's, you know, a yard situation or something else that's actually requires work, we'll figure out how to, I guess, how we'll figure out some timeline or something like that. I think that it's fine the way that it is there.
Charlie, any specifics to add for this item, this idea? Okay. The next one is Charlie has children help to plant flowers.
I mean, I think my kids would love to help out with that too. I mean, I was, you know,
All the kids, okay. Charlie and Jordan. Children help plant flowers.
Yeah, that sounds nice.
Would you like to add any specifics around timing, deadlines?
Well, I guess it would have to be after, you know, probably better after the items are removed and
I'd probably just say in the spring.
Okay, after the items are removed in the spring? Okay. What other details for the flowers?
I don't know, let's see. Oh, nothing else for the flowers, I was looking at the next one.
For the next one, Jordan doesn't say hurtful, unkind things about Charlie and her family to the neighbors.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I agree. I won't do that.
Any specifics to add there? And Charlie reaches out to Jordan with any concerns. What type of communication do you prefer?
Same thing.
Knock on door or call? Okay. What other ideas for the yard?
I think that's pretty good. Especially if we want to do this 3 more times.
So earlier, Charlie, you said you felt burdened and judged and overwhelmed with what was happening around the yard. If you implemented these ideas, would you still feel burdened, overwhelmed, and judged?